Hello everyone. Welcome. So I have got quite a bit of kind of new information about twins that's come through over the last little while, and so I want to share that with you. It's actually, I think it's pretty interesting. It's a bit of to me, it's new information. I imagine that it is for you also. So you'll have to forgive me because I have made kind of I've pitched the notes out from throughout my notebook and tried to put them together in some kind of semblance of order to make it easier. So Divine Counterparts, September 2022. So I want to say there does seem to be this more unified collective movement. That's how I see it. Hello, Larissa. The divine feminines and the divine masculines, they feel as though they're each in similar energies at the moment, and that the energies, we've always had that, but that the energies have narrowed and they've become more homogenous in each of the groups. And I want to say particularly in the divine masculine. So this to me signifies that perhaps there is this influence of the twins collectively creating the energies as two separate groups, because I see the feminines are on a short spectrum really, and it won't take much for them to be all in the same place. So creating these energies as two separate groups, but each of these groups becoming more homogenous, and to me this signifies this movement towards union. So that's the first part. So I see this as a beautiful dance. The divine masculines, they have held space for the divine feminines to rise up, to move into using the higher chakras to move into higher spaces and access higher information, to come into higher levels of consciousness, and to come back into their goddessness, to their high priestess aspects. And they have held space for the feminines to develop their gifts, come into their higher aspects, to refine and heal and grow. And now the divine feminine need to hold space for the masculine to do that. So they need to awaken, which they are. They are in the process of awakening. They need to come into their own empowerment. And as they open their hearts and learn to work from that space, they are opening to their own psychic gifts, their own realizations, and beginning to see clearly who they are and why they are here. And I want to say, do not underestimate these beautiful divine masculines. They are doing this, and they are doing it in a pretty rapid manner. So my perspective of the divine feminine is that they have noticed that the divine masculine energy has disappeared. And for me, although I'm feeling it around me, so doesn't feel lost anymore. It's really subtle. It's like right on the edges of it. It's like the dent that's left in the mattress when you get up off sitting on the bed after it's made. It's like the smell that lingers in your car after somebody gets out. And so they are still around, but they are in their own process. And I see the divine feminine on this sliding spectrum, from on the short end being kind of fed up, over it, peeved, to the other end of the spectrum is sitting deeply in the knowing of divine timing and divine alignment, and that many will just move through from one end of the spectrum through to the other end, and each will do that in their own timing. That divine feminines may be feeling stretched, feeling that they've done all their work, and still not rewarded by their divine masculine being in their presence. Some might be feeling very frustrated, throwing their toys out of the cot. And I want to say to you to give up the control. You don't have control. And to trust and be in the knowing, to hand it over, to surrender and have faith in the divine and universal source energy that they have got this managed. It's in divine alignment and divine timing. Excuse me just a moment. So I asked the question, could this be resistance or interference? Could it be taking longer for the energies to come together? And what I get around that is that it is possible, and I have seen this interference in the past, but our focus needs to be on a couple of things. Coming into union, so the energy of union. If you are holding the space of not having it, then you're calling in the energy of not being in readiness for it. And to make sure that you're in your own work, those finer nuances, because by goodness, we are really taken to the extremities of everything, to the highest levels of healing, of integrity, of the love of self, that falling in love with self and holding those higher vibrations. And so it's important to, don't get down into the belly of it, into the the hole in the ground, the depression in the ground. Don't get down into that and get stuck in the energies of that feeling and the frustration of it, because that becomes a hold up. Remember, what you put your energy on is what you are attracting. And I want to tell you these things. The divine masculine, they're really trying to find their way here, and they are in new and uncharted territories, as is everybody on the planet with these energies at the moment. But they are experiencing this in a massive way, and many of them, to me, they're feeling like they are or have been. They have been, and I'm feeling like they're kind of out of this now. But when I first started writing this, maybe a week ago, a lot of them were in overwhelm. They are going through an awakening. They are in their awakening. They're having these huge heart openings, and they're navigating their world in a new way. They have had massive change in a very short period of time. And I'm showing that they are finding their way through examining their feelings. That's new to them. They're trying to figure out where everything comes from, this exploration of self and how they and what is coming up for them pertains to you, to the divine feminine. The divine masculines are having to find their way from the 3D material world to 5D, higher dimensional ways and higher love. And in so doing, they have to undo all of their existing or recent past needs for material things. So they're really busting out of the 3D here. It's massive. It is like they are climbing a ladder, but having to investigate each rung as they go, from their three-dimensional experiences and expectations, the list of all the things they always thought that they wanted to be, have, and do, and also all of the things, the list of what they believe they wanted their partner to look like, to be like, where they might come from, all of those characteristics around their partnership. So this love, which they are opening to, is drawing them to the higher. However, they're having to unpack all of it and look at all of these rungs one at a time, and they'll be reflecting. They are reflecting things like, oh, I'm looking at that. Oh, okay, that's not so important. And then looking at another thing, oh, that's not so important either. So they're moving into this love that they are feeling. They are recognizing that it is more important than any of their material desires through their earlier life and up until this point. So they are knowing that this is more important than that, and they're coming into this deep self-reflection And then that is then coming into their higher alignment through the examination of the feelings they have for their divine feminine. So as they are finding their way up this ladder from three-dimensional perspectives, feelings, experiences, and energies to five-dimensional, they are figuring out what doesn't align with them anymore, and they're looking at it from this heart-based perspective. They're looking at what to release, and they're examining their higher aspirations as they're being drawn to formulate those. So they are really rewriting, reinventing themselves in this higher dimensional way of being. So remember that divine feminines have been working in the higher chakras and the exploration of those higher aspects. And the DMs, they have held space for that. They have held space for us beautifully, and for them to now reach up into these higher dimensions, which they will do much more quickly than us. We've done a lot of the work to enable that as well. We each, it's like this dance. We do that and they do that and they do that and we do that, and it balances out the whole time. We're moving from one to the other, affecting the energies that are in each group. And so now we have to hold space for them to arise and to join us. So the divine feminine, and this is how I see it, are sitting in their high priestess and their goddess selves now, or moving into that, and need to drop into trust and absolute knowing that you are ready and prepared. And if you are not, then you're doing final attunement, and then you're dropping into this recognition of everything being in divine timing and alignment. So remember that twins are working with higher love and higher templates, that they are breaking old relationships, old paradigms, and forming new higher relationship templates. Remember, this is a sequential operation. One thing has to happen before the next. That divine union comes about through divine timing and divine alignment. So when I tuned into twins today, this is what I got. We are in huge heart energies, both of us, both twins. It's warm, it's expansive, and it's expressive. The masculine collectively is beginning to be exploring, working from their heart space and from within their heart space, and looking to and being in recognition of this higher love. So it's finally kind of dawning on them. So they have set their sights higher and are looking upwards. That's how they were shown to me, to higher aspirations. So I was shown this imagery of the masculine wiping their eyes and coming into clearer vision. And honestly, the look on their faces was just priceless. It was like they were a bit surprised at themselves. That was how it felt to me. They had this sort of inward smile and this kind of like that, shaking their head, and it gives me the feeling of, oh, it's that. Yeah. Maybe I ought to have seen that and recognized it earlier. Well, now I do, and I better get on with that. So I'm showing that we're in the last or the second to last component or action for these to come together. And although I want to say to you that, did I write this in here? Hold on a moment. Okay, I'll tell you this and then I'll tell you what I can remember about the timing thing. So although there's free will on planet Earth, for twins, I believe that these relationships are divine and holy and sanctified, and that they have come to bust open the old relationship templates and replace them with higher new relationship, higher dimensional relationships, to then create a wave of love, an energy that ripples over the earth to affect humanity, and that it sits in this alignment, the sequential order for planetary ascension. So Gaia has shown me that these connections play a key role in our human collective ascension and thereby our planetary ascension. So I believe that they are divinely decreed, and whilst there may have been some interferences, the idea that this is interfered with timing is unlikely. The divine would be ensuring that this is all in divine timing. So, yeah, I got shown. Darn, I'll have to. There's something around the 11:11. So what I'm showing is that, and this may apply to twins as well. Sorry, I can't remember the exact subtleties of this, but we are moving through, and I will be doing a video on this tomorrow, but the bits that apply to twins specifically is that the 11:11 gateway that's an illumination gateway. So I'm showing that it's like there's kind of two waves of twins. So the second wave of twins, the masculine who are not awake will be awakened in that 11:11 gateway. So that's the 11th of November this year, the second wave. They will be awakened then. And I see that it's like this. It's for them, for those divine masculine who are awakened through that 11:11, what I'm calling, what Gaia is telling me, is the gateway of illumination. That it's like they go, boom, they're awake, and they go straight to their divine feminine. That's kind of, it's maybe not quite that quick, but that's how it shows up to me. And those who the first wave, if you like, they are going to have come together prior to that, and then so that's likely to happen sort of during October. Oh, I'm sorry, I've just been in amongst so much writing today. But anyway, it's really close. Like, I am showing that we have ascended into the fifth dimension by the end of November. And today I was showing that both twins and humanity are going to ascend in two main waves. And the first wave is the 11:11, and the second wave is actually in this window between the 12th of December and the 21st of December. So anyway, I don't know whether I'll get to it tomorrow, but I'll get to those kind of bits in the next couple of days. But it looks to me, and I'm showing, and I've checked in with Gaia, that we're really on the edges of this rolling over, and that's the time frame of it. So I want to say to you, because mostly there'll be divine feminines on here, but to any divine masculines who are here as well, is that we need to keep checking in with self. We need to be A, holding our highest vibration and frequency, and B, just keep asking, is there anything more for me to do here? What is that? What does it look like? Is there any more healing for me to do? Show me. Ask your heart, ask your soul to show you what needs to come. What more is there here for me to do? What else is there for me that's in preparation of my union? And I really want to encourage us to be really sitting beautifully in our own divinity, in our own hearts, vibrating at this highest frequency. And remember that what you project out is what will come back, and that the turnaround time is really fast. So you want to be holding the energy of things like, I'm really excited that my partnership's coming together. I'm really excited that my divine masculine is on his way here, that he's showing up. I'm really excited that I am in this beautiful energy of love, and that I love myself to that extent. I'm acknowledging that I am sitting in the energy of me as the divine feminine, in my high priestess being, in my goddess being. And I'm exploring more of that. I'm coming into more greatness of that as I am in the becoming of coming into union with my divine masculine. So, yeah, maybe that's about all. I'll just see what's in the chat here. But it feels exciting. To me, the energy of it feels exciting. It's really shifted. Really shifted. I thought I was crazy. I couldn't feel him at all in the last 2 weeks, and I was busy with sudden issues in my life. This time is weird. Yeah, I agree. It has felt really weird, and I felt very lucky that I can tune into the collective and get some information that way. And she's saying, I saw Meredith, that's Meredithia Crystal, Mineral Crystal Oracle. And she... if you haven't watched her and you are a divine feminine or a twin, tune into her on YouTube, because she, to me, she really accesses these higher nuances, these tweaking things that the subtleness of these energetic shifts. So divine intervention clarified by divine intervention. So it's kind of clear that it's God's will. Oh, okay, yeah, cool. I have not watched too much of that. She does something most days, and I think she's quite phenomenal. All right. So yeah, get excited. Be in the energy of excitement of this in its arrival, and so be mindful of the language that it's arriving, that it's or that it has arrived, so that my divine masculine has arrived, that we are exploring this relationship together now, that we're in some kind of union that we are developing and designing together, that it's beautiful, that it's full of love and excitement and amazing, beautiful moments, and start, envisioning those moments, those feelings, those connections. So wishing you, woohoo, so much love from my heart to yours, and from the heart of Gaia, as we really are, in the last couple of actions to coming together. So what happens, what I am showing is, we come into our wholeness, we come into our higher divinity, and then that attracts our union to come into being, and that creates this ripple of love, this exponential times 100 is what Gaia said, times 100, to ripple out in this radiant sort of circle, this ripple of energy, and each of us create that, and that creates this collective ripple across the world, which awakens the collective to a higher level, and then that tips the planet into its ascension. So yeah, it was interesting today, because I was clearly showing I don't understand how this works, but we will fathom it out. And I'm really comfortable in the space of not knowing everything. I really am. I know this is sorted, even our ascension, but today I was showing it's as though we have 2 waves of ascension. So there might be this sort of, maybe this group that moves into 5th dimensional space in the beginning of the building, the creation of our new earth, our 5th dimensional new earth. And then it's really just a month and a bit later that the rest join. So that's how I was showing it today. I haven't seen that before, so that was really interesting to me. I know, Sinead. Yeah. Carol saying looking for the physical meeting. Yes. So, hallelujah. Thanks for joining me. And where are we? I don't know if you're like me with time, but I have to keep checking in. What day is it? It's Friday here. I guess it's Friday where you are now as well. And so I wish you a magnificent weekend, and I really encourage you to roll around in the feelings of these energies as though your divine counterpart is already with you. And I know that many of you already can do that, but shift out of the funk. If you're in the funk about it, shift out of that into that higher light, that higher alignment, that aspect of you that you know well, that you have sat in and been in. And that's where all of us need to go there. We are, we're the sort of, it's not that we're the only ones who are doing this. This is one pathway. And I want to say that actually because there's no hierarchy about twins being higher, better, flasher, bigger than any other souls. It's just that we are the specialists in relationship, and so other beings have come in to change the economic system, to change the way that communities work, the way that the environment is treated, the way that houses are built, the new technologies. Many beings who have come to the earth for this time have come to be in their mastery and their specialization, and our specialization just happens to be relationship. And so that's our job, that's our forte, that's our lane. And so let's be in the highest vibration and frequency of that, wrapping ourselves in beautiful source energy, feeling the love, and holding that loving energy for your divine counterpart, in the knowing that this is all coming together in the perfection of divine timing. Yeah, so much love to you. That's a smiley kind of energy, I have to say. You're very welcome, everybody. All right, have a beautiful weekend.